Welcome back to the road to the UFA. Hope you guys are doing well. So this week I started on Tuesday with a zone 2 run and then some sprints afterwards. On Wednesday I decided to do a quick little workout before I went over to sunburn practice. Even though our season's over, we're still having some practices just to have fun and get some reps in. So I did some pull-ups, I did some Bulgarian squats, and I did a couple other things that didn't get caught on camera. Unfortunately, when I was doing some bench press, I squished my finger. I was putting a weight down, and I foolishly didn't look where I was putting it down and put it on top of another weight and kind of got poked a little bit, and my finger got a little swollen. But it's not too bad. It's healed up pretty nicely. It's still kind of a cut. It's a bit swollen, but it's feeling all right, which is good. Because I hurt my finger, I decided to do a bit more running this week than usual. So on Thursday night, I went for a run. I was focusing on long exhales. Big inhale and then like 2 steps on the inhale and then like about 4 to 6 steps on the exhale. There's some science that shows that can help with our lung capacity as well as our ability to use our oxygen. And then afterwards, the next morning, Friday morning, I went for a run with the fellow captain of Sonoran Dog, Mitchell, Sticky Mitch, and we talked about some stuff for our tryout, as well as just some stuff for the season. It was a really nice run, and we did some pull-ups as well and some other stuff to work out. Saturday morning was our second tryout, Sonoran Dog's second tryout, and it was a lot of fun. We had some pretty good attendance. Shout out to all of the college kids who came out. Um, you know, that's one of the best ways you can improve your frisbee game is to play club. Like the jump from, if you're a college player and you play a season of college and then a season of club, and then you come back for the next season of college, the jump from the end of the first season to the start of the second is just unreal. At tryouts, I decided that one of my goals for the season would be a sprint every single week. I was talking to Isaiah. Shout out Isaiah for coming out, and we're talking about our goals for the season. I decided that sprinting once a week would be a great goal. I got in some sprints earlier in the week, and so setting up that goal, and now I just got to continue with it. And luckily, I have this video series to keep me accountable. Because I didn't do too much actual playing or running at the tryout, I was kind of busy organizing and making sure things are going well and talking to people and watching. I decided to get a big, massive workout in after tryouts. So, after tryouts, I ate a bunch of protein. Shout out Lavaka Takaria. What's up, Walker? I'm fucking blind. I didn't even notice you. Got in a bunch of protein, chilled for a while, and then got in this massive workout last night. So I started with supersetting some pull-ups with some tibialis raises. Overall, I was pretty happy with my progress this week. I did a lot of running, did a lot of lifting. My sleep was pretty good. My diet was good. The one thing I wish I'd done a little bit more of was getting more throwing in. But that's okay. Good goal for next week. To answer the question from last week about how much protein should a person be getting, the goal should be whatever your body weight is or whatever your ideal body weight is. That number in grams of protein is what you should be getting. If you're building muscle and working out pretty actively, you should probably be getting more than that, about maybe 120% of whatever that number was. The question for next week is, why should we be getting so much protein? Why is protein such an important nutrient? Well, while you ponder that, I'll talk a little bit more about my workout. I was trying to hit as many muscle groups as I possibly could because I haven't worked out too many times this week. So I started with my favorite, some pull-ups and some tibialis raises, supersetting those together, right? Because they have two different muscle groups that are working and I can, conserve energy and be more efficient when I'm lifting if I'm hitting two different muscle groups that are totally distinct from each other. After I did the tibialis and my pull-ups, I moved into some calf work. So I did some single leg calf raises with weight, and then I leaned up against the wall and did 50 calf raises in a row just to kind of burn out the muscle after those single leg calf raises. The reason I like to go at an angle on the wall is because it allows you to get into that stretch position. If you've been paying attention, that stretch position, gives us some of the most muscle stimulation and the most muscle growth. Right? That slow eccentric into the stretch, that's where a lot of that good muscle building happens. Right? That's why sometimes after my sets I like to do partial sets where I'm only moving halfway through the range of motion in that stretch position specifically. Right, so the first part of the workout was kind of just a lot of like tibs, a lot of calves, and some stuff for the chest and back and shoulders, right? Some people are flexible, but they're not very strong. Some people are strong, but they're not very flexible. And both of those are going to reduce your chance of injury in different ways, but both of them are going to make it more likely that you'll get injured. So building strength and building flexibility and building strength in the stretched positions is going to give us our best chance of reducing injury, but it's also just going to help us get stronger, get stronger faster. It was a beautiful day in Tucson on Saturday. It was like sunny and a little bit cloudy. There was a light breeze going, and the highest temperature was like 69 degrees. So it was just awesome. It's a great day to run and play frisbee, and it was good to get outside and enjoy the weather a little bit. Here I'm doing some max jumps, some max height jumps, and then Benny gets a little bit excited, starts chasing me around, seemed to enjoy that. Maybe I got to do some more of that exercise in the future. After that, I did some squats, focusing on that slow, moving down slowly, the slow eccentric. Eccentric is when you're stretching out a muscle, and then a quick concentric when you're standing up and tightening the muscle. I'm obsessed with doing that. It's really helped me build a lot of muscle in these past couple months, past couple years. And like I said, reduces your chance of getting creative with the camera angles. The next thing that I did was I strengthened my adductor a little bit by putting one foot up on a bench and having the other foot hanging, holding that for about 15 seconds. Your adductor muscles help you with your lateral movement, your side to side movement. So having, as well as your marks, and it's really important to have good side to side movement in frisbee. So that's why I kind of spend some time on that each week. Next, I did some wrist strengthening, where I put take off one side of the weights and kind of do some rotations and a couple lifts for the forearm as well as the brachialis. Earlier in the workout, I don't know if I got any footage of it, but I did a couple of hangs where I just hung on the bar as long as I could just to kind of strengthen that grip. I'm tired of dropping discs. I got to be catching all these frisbees, so I need stronger forearms. And then I did some partial set squats, right? So I got some lighter weights, and I got into that deep stretch position and came up halfway and slowly went back down to that deep stretch position. If you've never tried that, try it out. Do a workout and then give yourself like a 30-second break, and then go back at it and do some partial stretched sets of whatever that exercise is, and see how it feels. All right. I challenge you to always go and see how it feels for yourself. There's so many videos online about this workout and this idea, and try this and do this, and you got to do this, and none of that matters until you try it out and do it yourself. let your own experience, be the guide of what you do. If something doesn't feel good, don't do it. If you're not a very flexible person, you got really tight, muscles, and you're trying out some of these stretch things and it doesn't feel good, don't do it. You know, I finished off my workout with some core stuff, and at that point, I realized like I got no energy left. I think I'm gonna call it there. I'm feeling totally beat, and so I went inside and had a bunch more protein, and went to bed and got 8.5 hours of sleep. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any feedback or comments about how I can improve in my editing, or if you notice anything, please let me know. And I'll see you guys next week.